All right. Whoops, we're going to do the hair dressing up. Wait a little second. Good morning, Kitsap County. This is Steph Dupuis with Dupuis team at Keller Williams West Sound with this week's Kitsap County Weekly Housing Stats for the week of November 3rd through December 6th. And I think the big news is we're finally getting some market movement. It's market movement down, and it's a steady, low slope. So we'll talk about that today and go through stats. So first thing, over the last 2 to 4 weeks, we've seen a decrease overall in new homes coming on market, new listings. We've gone from about 100 a week. This week we're at 51. Last week was a holiday week, and we were down to, what was that, 27, which is, I mean, think about it. You know, we had a week dip where we're about 25% of our typical new listings that come on market. This week we're almost at half, just one house over half, the halfway mark. So we've been averaging 100 homes a week coming on market as new homes in Kitsap County, and this week we are at 51. That's something to pay attention to. If this trend continues, we're going to have further inventory problems, which we're already seeing. Some other changes that we've had is price reductions. You know, we were up in the high 30s, 38, 45 or so price reductions a week the last 4 to 8 weeks. And now we're seeing that number slowly come down, which tells us that sellers and real estate brokers in the area are adjusting to the new market, and they're starting to price homes more within what the market will allow right now. I expect that number to start to slowly go back to single digits soon, which is what we were seeing maybe 3-4 months ago. Now, let's go to some other stats that are a little unusual for Kitsap County. One of them, we're seeing lots of cancellations. We have just 8 cancellations this week. You know, historically, Kitsap County might see 1 or 2, maybe 3 cancellations a week. We don't have many cancels, and we don't have many expireds. When you start to see cancellations, you know, in a market like this where it's turning tide, the tide's shifting. We had slack tide the last 4 to 8 weeks. When by slack tide, I mean, there wasn't really any movement either way. It was just kind of still, eerily still. And now the tide's starting to go out. And so we're going to see those types of changes happening. One of them is more cancellations. I'm suspecting, just guessing here, educated guess, sellers who put their home on market and thought, hey, if I can get $1 million for this, I'll take it. And they're seeing that they're not going to get a big windfall from the sale of their property, and instead of selling, they're simply removing it from the market. And that tells us that was unlikely a motivated seller. And as far as buyers are concerned, this is good news if we get unmotivated sellers out of the market and we get motivated sellers back in the market. Okay, the next thing, pendings. So pendings have gone down about 9% over the last 3-4 weeks. That could be because our new homes on market have been less. So if we have less homes on market for buyers to buy, there's simply less homes for buyers to buy. We're going to see less pendings. Pendings is a leading indicator and a statistic to watch because it tells us we're going to have fewer solds coming up soon, and we're already starting to see that. So we have 119 solds this week. We only had 93 last week. We typically have around 180. So we're seeing about an 10 to 12% reduction in solds. And that, by solds, I mean by the number of homes that are selling in our area. That's also something to watch. That will cause a market slowdown. We already are in one, but that's going to just kind of add some gas, throw some gas on that fire. All right, let's go to inventory. So this is what I find unusual about this market, and it's really fascinating. Our inventory, again, is going down. It's going low. And as we know, fundamentally, the 3 things that influence a housing market are inventory, interest rates, and job stability. Supposedly, if all 3 of those are healthy, low inventory, low interest rates, job stability, then we're going to see a thriving housing market. And maybe the new interpretation is that this is a stable housing market. I don't know. And we are down to 207 this week for our Kitsap County housing inventory. That includes Bainbridge. And we are at, where are we for? Without Bainbridge, we're at 191. Okay? And we're going to look at some statistics this week, comparing Bainbridge and the county without Bainbridge, so we can look at how Bainbridge is affecting some of the stats you might read in the newspaper. So 207 homes on market in the county right now, including Bainbridge, 191 without Bainbridge. So we've dipped below 200 in Kitsap County when you remove Bainbridge Island, and that we're in the red. We are in dangerous territory as far as low inventory goes. That's about 10% of where we should be. Typically, we're 1,800 to 2,000 homes on market in Kitsap County. What's interesting about this is that inventory is going down, and what we're going to see is prices are also going down, and that's illogical. Okay. Typically when inventory goes down, prices go up because it puts pressure on the market, puts pressure on buyers. There's more buyers per home. But we're seeing the opposite right now. We're seeing prices slightly go down, and days on market are getting longer. So 2-3 months ago, we were at 8-10 days on market. Now we're at 22 average days on market. So if you're selling a home, expect to have the home on market, anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, let's go to average sold price for the county. This is interesting to me, and I think this is why we need to look at both. When we're talking about Kitsap County market, we have to look at the county as a whole, and then also without Bainbridge, because you're going to see where the Bainbridge is skewing some statistics right now. Average sold price in Kitsap County is $593,000. That includes Bainbridge. Okay, that has gone down about 1 percentage point, a month, the last couple of months, when you include Bainbridge. Let's remove Bainbridge. When you remove Bainbridge, the average sold price in Kitsap County is $508,812. So, and when you remove Bainbridge, we've seen about a 4%, did I get that right? About 3.5% decrease per month the last couple months, last 4 to 8 weeks or so in Kitsap County when you remove Bainbridge Island from those statistics. So we're seeing more of a decrease in average price in the county without Bainbridge. When you add Bainbridge, it skews that statistic. So if I'm what this means for you is if I'm a home seller in Kitsap County right now, every month you wait to sell right now, you're probably losing around 3 to 4%. That's what the stats are showing. Okay, here's the other stat. We haven't talked about this one in a while. It's been a good year since we've talked about it because it just hasn't been helpful or applicable. But what we do is we take all the solds, 100% of the solds, and we pull out how many sold above list price, how many sold at list price, and how many sold below list price. Okay, so visualize that. You take the group of solds and you go above list price, at list price, below list price. The reason we do this is I found it to be a more reliable indicator of whether we're in a buyer's market or a seller's market. And obviously in the last year, 2 years, it's been overwhelmingly more homes sold at or above list price than at or below list price. Okay, so what this means is when you have more than 50% of homes sold at or above list price, you're in a seller's market. If it's more than 50% at or below list price, you're in a buyer's market. This shifted this week. It's still a seller's market. However, the percentage of homes selling at or below list price has increased. It's increased by 11%. So a little bit more than that. 28% in the last 2 weeks. Okay, so just cut that baby in half. By that in half. So we're going to keep an eye on that stat more. We might be talking about it because that's going to show us as the market begins to shift when we tip from a seller's market to a buyer's market. All right, last thing today, sales price to list price for buyers. Good news for buyers, it's 101.16%. So if you're looking at making an offer on a home, statistically in our area, you're going to need to make an offer a little over 1% of list price in order to get it. That's on average. Here's the thing though, and we've been talking about this just intuitively, it was just a gut professional instinct, and now the numbers are showing this. You know, we've got more buyers purchasing homes below list price right now, and what I'm seeing happen on the field, and the reason why that stat's showing that is because we're having buyers show up. If it's a hot house, they're having to offer 4 up to 11% over list price in order to get the house. So if it's a hot house, meaning it's just people love it, you're going to have lots of offers, buyers are still having to offer 4 to 11% is what we're seeing over list price. And if it's not, if the home's been sitting, you might get it at or below list price right now with a 10-day inspection. Okay, it's a great time if you've been a VA buyer, you've been sitting on the sidelines, time to get in right now. Or other buyer, maybe you need some closing costs. We've had sellers be more friendly to paying closing costs with an offer that nets the same. So those of you who've been sitting on the sidelines, you still want a home, it might be a time for you to start looking again. Okay. I'm Steph Dupuis with Dupuis team at Keller Williams West Sound. Thank you for joining us. If you found this helpful, please share this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and like our Facebook page. Okay, we'll see you next week right here. Thanks, bye.